Hi everyone, welcome back to the Errant Venture. My name is Steve. Today we are going to be talking about characters who may be making their return in the new The Bad Batch series on Disney+. There's a lot of characters that can potentially show up, and the ones I do want to touch on are the ones that are not shown in the trailer for The Bad Batch. So, I got 10 of them for you. Here we go. The first one that we might see is Captain Rex. He was not seen, or maybe he was. Not really sure if that was him in the trailer for The Bad Batch, but we might see him again. Following his escape with Ahsoka at the end of the Clone Wars Season 7, we're not really sure what happens to him in between then and when he pops up in Rebels. What we do know, though, is that he is living on Cilios with Commander Wolffe and Captain Gregor when Rebels comes along and Ahsoka sends Kanan and Ezra to go find him. So that's actually 3 character returns, because you have Captain Rex, Commander Wolffe, and Captain Gregor, and they're all living together on an old ATTE walker in the middle of the desert hunting giant desert slugs. Sounds like an interesting life for, former ARC troopers and leaders in the Clone Wars, but a lot of time goes by between when they are found by Kanan and when they are found by Ezra from when they left at the end of the Clone Wars. So that right there is numbers 1, 2, and 3. Captain Rex, Commander Wolffe, and Captain Gregor. So now moving on to number 4. So speaking of Ahsoka, we know that she escaped with Captain Rex. She faked her death. She left one of her lightsabers with all the bodies at the crashed Star Destroyer, and that's where Darth Vader came across it. In the book, we know that following the Clone Wars, following her escape, she was bouncing around from planet to planet, really just trying to stay off the Empire's radar. Whenever she felt that, hey, they're getting a little too close to me, she would up and move and go somewhere else. She was trying just to have a private life, really not use the Force at all, and just live. So eventually, she does get caught up in some, stuff involving the Empire, and she stumbles across Bail Organa, who recruits her to help with the rebellion. So Ahsoka may come back in, she may not. We know that she's getting her own series as well on Disney+, and it is assumed that that's coming later following The Bad Batch. But I expect her to show up at least in flashbacks, or at least in some sense. It might just be her name, but you never know. But next, you have Darth Vader / Anakin Skywalker. Now he can come back in either his armor, if it's taking place in the current time frame, or he can come back as Anakin Skywalker if they're showing flashbacks. Remember, in Season 7, Episodes 1 through 4, he was there, he was fighting alongside the Bad Batch, he helped rescue Echo from the Techno Union, so there is a relationship there, and it's very easy for them to say, hey, here's some more flashback parts that you did not see in the Clone Wars. So, my expectation is to see some flashbacks of him, but also to see him in his armor. So you're going to get a little bit of both Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader in there. Number 6, ObiWan Kenobi. Now we know that he's living on Tatooine. We know that the mission he gave himself following the Clone Wars was to watch after Luke on Tatooine. But the thing is, if all he did was sit there in the desert watching a kid and watching sand blow, they would not be giving him his own series. They're going to want to show something. He's going to make an appearance. I fully expect him to at least be in flashbacks, but I think he's going to have a stronger role in the Bad Batch somehow. The Empire is probably still out there looking for him. They don't have any proof that he has been killed, so I do expect, at least in flashbacks, to see ObiWan Kenobi. And if we can get a taste or a sense of what he's doing during this time, that would be pretty cool. Number 7, Maul. So we see Maul escape in Season 7. We know he pops up during the Solo movie. We know that, he pops up during Rebels. But he's doing a lot of things. He's in crime syndicates. Well, we don't know everything that he's doing. He's still out there. He's still running around. Palpatine knows he's alive. So it would be interesting to see if Maul pops up during the Bad Batch. Once again, all of these people can come back in flashbacks. And it's very, very possible these flashbacks are newly created, not from the Clone Wars. Because not everything was in the Clone Wars. So, number 7 was Maul. We know he survived the Clone Wars, and we know he dies in Rebels. Spoiler alert, sorry. Number 8, Yoda. We know that Yoda is still alive. We know that he was going to go to Dagobah, and he was going to just kind of camp out, do his thing. My expectation is he will once again show up in flashback. I don't think he ever left Dagobah. When you see his spaceship in the original trilogy, it's pretty rooted. It looks like he kind of like crash landed and never took off again. So my expectation is he never left the planet. He hid out there because there's a strong Force presence. And that's just where he is, with no plans to leave. Maybe he can communicate through the Force with Obi-Wan or any other potential Jedis who might be surviving at this time. But I expect to see him as a flashback as well. Next, this one's a little bit of a stretch. This is number 9, Cassian Andor. It's possible. In the movie, he did say he's been fighting since he was 6 years old. And one of the things that they're going to want to do is they're going to want to give him some story, some credibility. You meet him in Rogue One, and now they're giving him a prequel. Well, you can always have him mentioned or a quick shot in there. Maybe he starts a relationship or a friendship with that Omega girl. So it's possible that he pops up as a kid and is able to do something. Who knows what he'd be able to do, but it would start his character arc, at the early age that he says he's been in the battle, and give him some more background as a character in the Star Wars universe. And number 10. And this one's very possible. I do expect it a little bit. At the same time, it could be a stretch. This could be the debut of Luke Skywalker. Yes, he was in A New Hope. He was also in Rebels. If you remember, he was in Rebels before, in Rebels after Maul dies. You see Obi-Wan look out into the distance, see a kid running across the sand, and that's Luke. But I guess it technically wouldn't be his debut because you see him born. But it could be more of him growing up. It can be, you can see him through kind of you can see him through Obi-Wan's eyes when he was a kid, because this is taking place right afterwards. And this will be taking place before the Kenobi series. So it'll give more of a story if they actually show current Obi-Wan, or at least have him talking about Luke Skywalker. He might not be, because after all, he didn't mention him to Ezra when Ezra popped in. But it's very possible that he, brings Luke into the story as more than just a crying baby that you see him in Episode 3. So, that right there are 10 characters that I can see returning, whether it's in person or whether it's in flashback or other ways being mentioned. But that's how I can see these 10 characters appearing in The Bad Batch. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications of future episodes. We're on Instagram and we're on Twitter. So look us up, theerrantventure.com.